Greetings everyone, it is me, Gigalem, welcome back to Crash Bandicoot 2! In the last part, we finally started the game and finally started a sequel to a franchise in the channel. Now technically you can say that I did that for Holiday Lemmings, considering it came after, well, Lemmings, but that's besides the point. In the last part, well, we just gathered 3 crystals and spent a lot of time on just 3 levels. Hopefully we can keep the pace up a little bit more. We only got 2 levels left in the first warp room, and there were some topics that I didn't get a chance to bring up last part, so because this next level is definitely the pits, let's bring them up! First, let me just say that Duck Station did not want to capture properly. So I only got 1 successful capture of footage after that, and then afterwards, like after recording, and then just after like exiting something and like stopping recording or something like that, it decided not to capture again. Anytime I tried getting the window to capture, it would just refuse to get the window back up. So after having some frustration and not wanting to falter, well, I had to do the next best thing. Capture the entire display, then crop it so that way it's only this window. You are not seeing the rest of my screen, you are only seeing the Duck Station window without the Duck Station UI attached to it. I even had to make sure that my cursor wasn't being captured. So yeah. Unless there's a better way to get Duck Station to show up on OBS, or there's another bit of recording software I can use that would like Duck Station and doesn't require me to connect to the internet to use, or have to force me to pay or something, well, please let me know. Please honestly let me know, because I would be happy to use it, I'd be happy to heed your advice, and I'd be happy to thank you on top of thanking any Ko-fi supporters that would be willing to support me on Ko-fi. Yes, I have a Ko-fi and I'd like to get some more supporters on it if possible. That's why you don't spin to those things. I was so busy ranting that I completely forgot to not spin. Oops. Anyway. Duck Station is a really fantastic emulator. But boy, did it want to. Jeez, my ranting is causing me to bumble up. Ugh. Duck Station is a fantastic emulator. It's one of the emulators to surpass that of EPSXC, and I think it's just as good as Bandicoot. But if I'm using Bandicoot for anything, I'm definitely going to be using it for Sega Saturn games. You'll see when we get to Let's Play number 15, and boy, Let's Play number 15 is going to be a long one for sure. Now, my initial plan was to eventually get into a house that has 4 bedrooms and such, and be able to have a sound isolating area, basically have way more sound canceling than I already have altogether. Just record this. How did I not die there? But now that I question it, I'm probably gonna die. Yeah. Fate tempted. Yeah. You gotta be careful when you're crossing this. I believe there's another enemy on this way. Like that. And I broke a box with it. Cool. Oh gosh. But I wanted to record this off of official hardware. Like a few months ago, I acquired a copy of Crash Bandicoot 2 complete in the jewel case. It's currently in storage right now. It's in storage along with Crash Bash, Mega Man X5, Mega Man X6, possibly a few others. Definitely Ape Escape and Lemmings PlayStation 1 version. I always mention how I recommend against playing that particular version of the game, unless a mod gets made where the game has all of its problems sorted out and has a better soundtrack. I guess we can make up for those lives we just lost. But I wanted to record this off official hardware. I was going to get my hands on either a RetroTink or at the very least the next best thing. I was going to get my hands on a PlayStation 1 so I can have that intro that you saw. I'm fine with having it here. And on top of that, well, On top of that, well, basically having the means to record it off official hardware, get an HDMI splitter, so that way, well, I can have multiple sources at once, because I eventually plan to get myself a Wii U, at least, like, bring out my Wii U, undust it, make sure it's nice and clean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And, can you tell I missed the enhanced body slam you get from Crash 3? And on top of that, be able to get myself acoustic foam so I can have a more soundproof recording and such. I want to record this off an official PlayStation 1, but because I feel like I'm going to be in this house for a good while, I might as well do something while I'm here. I don't want to deny you guys the content. So, of course, we have to backtrack and we have to go over boxes over a bottomless pit. Anxiety ensues. Be careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That happens every time! Every time I do this stage. Now, yeah. So, I figured if I'm going to record anything off of an emulator for PlayStation, I might as well for here on out until I can get myself official hardware and more room to record that kind of stuff. I might as well record off of DuckStation since it's a more newer and more accurate emulator out there. But yeah. Anyways, at the beginning of this bonus stage that you saw right there, I guess that weird oversight with Crash 1 isn't completely gone yet. That TNT crate did not explode. Anyways, jump on this middle one 9 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just leave that for later so you can make the return trip. I missed the enhanced body slam. It makes a difference. But yeah, what you saw there were steel crates, reinforced steel crates. Basically, you have to body slam them to break them, and believe me, we'll get to those later. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now all you need to do here, crouch, jump. Do it again, gain your lives. But all you need to do is do a crouch walk. And there you go. That's all the boxes in this particular bonus stage. I never go through this bonus stage without dying. Like, if I do, I consider it lucky, but fortunately, we do not lose any lives as a penalty. However, this stage does introduce something that I dislike with Crash 2 the most. Crash 2 loves backtracking. In fact, like, Crash 2 has so many forks in the road. There's going to be an encounter post-editing where it shows how many times I had to like backtrack in a single stage, or at least the counter for the number of forks in the road and backtracks or something like that. Crash 2 loves backtracking, and it's the worst here. It's the worst in the series in terms of 100%ing because of how many times he had to backtrack, and that camera problem is definitely going to rear its ugly head here. Now that we gathered the MacGuffins from the pits, it's time to reintroduce another trope, and believe me, I think there are some pretty evil things here. I might record this level again in for a Let's Play preview. I'm pretty sure you might remember the video. I'm not going to do it here, so your ears are going to be spared for now. So, the camera is pointed much further back from you. Why can't we have this camera for times where we have to backtrack? It's time for a return of the boulder chase levels. There are only 2 in Crash Bandicoot 1. There's a few more here. Now you can actually break the, like, bust those mines by just spinning into them. And it's relatively precise, but it's definitely possible. Now, I only recommend doing the spin slide technique here if you have enough leeway and such. And please don't just spin slide spam, because you'll definitely regret it. Now, if you got in here just barely, Crash will do a special animation where he just tumbles over. But yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to make this next one without dying. That's what happens. Crash gets, yeah, I basically sealed my own fate. Be careful with the... hubris. Those lives I just gained, they're gone now. Ah, shoot. Now, box is broken by the boulder. Why did I do that? Darn it. This is a bad time for my senses to grow numb. Stay hydrated, because don't eat too many, salt and vinegar chips, because you're definitely gonna get a salt patch. But boxes broken by the boulder, they still count. Now, I think it's the safest to basically spin slide whenever it's a big old straightaway. First thing you want to do here... Okay, there's no checkpoint, but there is a bonus stage here, and... oh, it's this one. Now, there's nothing above that crate right there, so don't worry. Go over here. And basically spin as you're ascending. That is a tricky one up to get. I'm going to speed this part up, so be back in a moment. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there you go. My senses are getting a little bit tense and numb. This is a bad time for it. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can actually... Yes, I can. Now I'm gonna save the level like that. But yeah. These levels can get pretty mean sometimes. I'm surprised I was able to do that. Jump over any mines you see, so that way you aren't sent flying. Oh, that is why I hate that part of the stage. And believe me, that particular final part, if you fail that final part, you're not getting that gem. As I'm not getting that box. So yeah, if it wasn't the jetboard levels in terms of what eats up my most lives while trying to get the gems, it's this level. These levels are much harder than Crash 1. And believe me, make sure you get the very last box on the... Yeah, because that boulder ignores that last crate, meaning that if you are too late, well, you're not getting that box. You're going to need to hold on to any lives you get, because these are moments where they're the most useful. I jumped. I'm going to skip to the point where I actually get the darn box. Like, while that boulder will definitely get that box, it definitely won't get the boxes that we're about to encounter right here. Okay. Wait, that's 43. Ah! Be backing up all that. I might be in the minority of this, but I honestly think Crash 2 was harder than Crash 1 in some ways. While yes, you do have the safety net of being able to get the gem without needing to do it in one life. That kind of made the level design a little bit more, let's just say, unfun. And believe me... Okay, that's 44. That's 44 out of 44. Oh, thank goodness. And I never thought I'd get that far away from the boulder, but that's basically what speedrunning tricks can definitely do for you. Oh, I hated getting that gem. And there's definitely going to be some gems I hate getting. Ugh. I will restrain myself from talking about Crash 4, but I will talk about some things with Coco and how she was introduced a little bit later on. N.gin, I forgot to mention, I believe he's also voiced by Brendan O'Brien. But I know Brendan O'Brien is still N.brio.
Listen up. We are not without enemies. Some of them you may even recognize. Although they cannot harm you inside this warp room, they can attack you on your way to the next way. To get to the next warp room, use the platform that appears in the center of the room. Good luck.
Fortunately, the emulator got most of that. But yeah, Crash, when he's on this platform in the center, he will do that or point downwards. I love this pose. That Crash is up please. But just, I love this pose. It's just so dorky. Anyways, by pressing up, we go up, and we go to the next boss. Now, I believe if you want to rematch boss fights, well, all you have to do is hold L, R, and triangle. Anyways, our very first boss is a returning character. And boy, has this character, despite their insanity, has learned a lot. This is Ripper Roo. Now, despite having a bit of a college degree, as it looks from their very own library, Ripper Roo is the easiest boss in the entire game. Yeah, this is not Ripper Roo's Crash 1 boss fight. And even then, thank goodness it's not, because that boss fight is annoying. Now, you can slide, spin, or belly flop on them. He's a very easy boss, very easy to read. What matters in this boss fight is positioning. Just be sure to get away from the explosions, and believe me, this is a very easy boss to beat without dying. Now he's gonna slide. Now we can slide into him like that. Whenever he gets out the nitro panels. And yes, Ripper Roo himself doesn't hurt you, like Ripper Roo will just push you around, but Ripper Roo does not count as a hitbox. The only danger is the panels he sets up. Okay, good. And now Crash gets to dance on his grave. What a way to end this boss. Yeah, it's very easy to do that boss in one life. It's very easy. And I think it's a bit too early to call it a part, so...
I see that Ripper Roo failed to prove much of a challenge yet again. But back to business. There are crystals to be gathered, 20 to be exact. The planets will align shortly, all 13 of them, and this will create a power great enough to rip the Earth apart. Properly utilized, however, the crystals can absorb and contain the energy.
Crash, is that you? I've been looking everywhere. I don't have much time to tell you this. You have to be careful. Trusting Cortex seems a little unwise. Oh, Crash, I can't keep the data path open this second. Crash, you need...
Yeah, so to give you some semblance of Cortex lying, 13 planets? When did we discover, like, let me see, 10, 11, 12, 4 more of them? Huh. But yeah, this is the second warp room. It's an ice warp room, and I don't want to get to the one secret level just yet. But we definitely have some levels to go through, and I think we'll go a little bit out of order because I think we have some spare time. But before we do that, Polar, what do you have in your mouth? Polar, spit it out. Come on. Spit it out, dude. Come on, spit it out. Get it over. That's not healthy for you. Huh. Polar, you can't shove all these extra lives into your mouth. You're going to choke to death. Thanks for the lives, buddy. You're a good boy. You're not a dog, but you're still a good boy. I might as well explain about Coco's existence and such. So, first off, the sewer levels. I don't know why people complain about sewer levels. I think the sewer levels in Crash Bandicoot specifically are really good. I love these levels. Not only do they have some of my favorite tracks in the game, I love this song, by the way. Like, give this song a good listen. But, I think they're fun levels and they do have some pretty nice instrumentation. Slide underneath those spinning grates. Or otherwise use the enemies to break off the fans. But Coco's existence. The reason for Tawna's disappearance, yeah, you can't kill those eels, believe me, I tried right there, is due to the fact that Tawna was not a very popular character at the time in Japan. They needed a cute... Japan tend to focus on more cuter things, among many other things. And, of course, their solution to that, to appeal to the Japanese executives, was to create a younger sister that was more adorable in comparison, and such. Coco's very first design was designed by the artist for Ape Escape. And I love that. I love Ape Escape. Don't get me wrong. I will get to that game soon. I will get to that game as my 10th Let's Play, because that will be a special Let's Play to celebrate 10 Let's Plays. But Coco was meant to be a more adorable character, to be a sidekick to Crash, rather than the more voluptuous and more arousing Tawna. They tried to find some way to explain Tawna's disappearance through the manuals, Japanese manuals, websites, English manuals to say that Tawna dumped Crash for Pinstripe. But because that's never addressed in the game's period, I don't want to say that's canon, if at all. Also, if there are any future Crash games after Crash 4, at least bring back the normal universe Tawna. Like, I'm fine with having 2 Tawnas. Like, I'm fine if we can have 2 Tawnas and such, because, well, like, I like Pirate Tawna in Crash 4. I love her design. It's pretty darn cool and such. But I don't want the other Tawna to be erased from canon again, because she had to work her butt off to get back into the main canon of the Crash series, and as a part of the character and such, part of the character cast. I mean, she was one of the most requested characters in Crash Team Racing, and she was definitely made a much tougher looking character in N.gin Trilogy. Also, yeah, you saw that, right? I went through the wall. There's a reason why all these nitro crates are here. Secret pathway! Yeah, there's another killer gem in the stage, and it's the Emerald. Okay, I could have sworn you can't spin those things away. I guess it was me being a little bit too paranoid. Okay, that was a bit dangerous, but yeah. Oops. Depth perception, my worst nightmare. Now, I think some of these platforms don't stay up forever. Oh! So yeah, when that eel shocks the water, that water is going to count as death. But guess what? Guess what, Crash? You got an emerald! Now we need a ruby and a death. Fortunately, this doesn't mean anything after we get the emerald after dying, because we still have it. It's more optimal to basically die after getting it. I could have sworn I jumped on you. Okay, I can spin into them, but I can't slide into them. Okay, so I definitely spun one away in one part of the stage, but I wasn't able to spin them again now. I'm sorry for that clumsy playing. I'm not trying to be so, you know, I'm not trying to be you-know-who from you-know Grumps. Also, yeah, break that crate. Even if you die, break that crate upon coming back. Because, again, I've mentioned that the nitro detonator breaks every single nitro crate. Not the crates right next to it. That's not until Insane Trilogy or Wrath of Cortex. I want to say it's also in the GBA games as well. I need to play more of Crash 2 Entrance. Because that was my recent addition to my Crash collection. But we'll worry about that a little bit later. Now we're here. This is the bonus stage for the sewer levels. And, yeah, Crash's head was hitting the crates despite being, like, not on top of them. This can be really nerve-wracking sometimes. I think this is one of the easier sewer bonus stages here. But yeah, Coco was definitely a much more popular character when she was introduced. In fact, she had that on top of being the cuter character, you should at least hear her Japanese voice. It definitely reeks of certain things, but stupid me, I forget that I wasn't supposed to do that. I can't remember. Okay. There's a fork in the road here, but fortunately, the forks in the road don't require too much backtracking. The fork in the road here has a crystal. If you don't go to this part first, basically the one prefer meant to be the indicator of telling you that, hey, the crystal is this way. I'm pretty sure this would have been the first time you would have missed the crystal. Like the first actual time, because you can actually miss it and such. Also, before you ask, no, there's nothing beyond there. Personally, I would have liked it if for the secret path, when you got close to the door actually opened to show that, hey, there's something to be found here. Anyways, eels, get out of the way of them. Jump on this rat because you can't slide on it or spin into them. You had to jump on them. I get really nervous and such. Anyways, break these crates before jumping down there because that's a point of no return. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of crates here to body slam, and I love body slamming crates. Okay, 98. Down we go, and we are right here. Now we have another new gimmick in the Crash series, and this could be a pretty fun gimmick. One of the few complaints I have with Wrath of Cortex, despite not playing it yet, is Crash's climb speed. This area is meant to be a safety net of introducing you to it. Crash can climb on these, but by crouching, Crash can do this, which is good for protection. You're going to want to remember that for later. Now, it's all about timing here. The game's rules are still the same. But all you have to do is wait for an opening here, then climb across. But, yeah. We're at the end of the stage, so... wait for these guys to go lower. Didn't jump over them. And claim our shiny. I wasn't even on the center of the platform that time. But yeah. That was definitely the eel deal, and I had a good time at that stage. That's definitely... the sewer levels in Crash 2 are definitely some of my favorites. Anyways, do a victorious Crash dance. Come on, Crash. Bring it home. And that should do it for today. So let's save our progress. Anyways, if you want to donate, there are a couple links in the description below. Believe me, any donation helps, especially in a time like this. If you want to catch up with the series, like stick with the series and such, you can subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be on your way, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Anyways, I've been Gigalem, and I shall bid you a fine adieu.